Warren Sapp, the Hall of Famer, NFL Network analyst. What'd you think of the game last night, Warren?
Oh, lovely ball game.
Were-
One for the ages.
Who were you
Put it
root-
on classic. As soon as it goes 0. Oh, no. Well, I have to take the great state of Florida because
Okay.
there's no way I'm rooting for Alabama. No.
Were you on the sideline of Ohio State, Miami 2002 Fiesta Bowl?
Yes, I was.
You were on Miami's side, I think, weren't you?
I bleed orange and green. I'm the most decorated cane in school history.
Okay.
What did I miss?
Yeah. I was on the Ohio State side.
Are you a Buckeye?
Yes.
Shoot yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. That was now that to me.
That was not a pit. That was not pass interference, but we don't need to relive that. Dan. You got your championship. Sit tight. I mean, what number is that for y'all?
I don't know. Not very many. I can't keep track. But that one.
Y'all was taking our one for the other finger. You know, we were starting on the other hand at that point.
That was a great game, though. I thought last night was a great finish. I thought Texas USC in the Rose Bowl was a great game, and I thought Miami against Ohio State 2002 was a great game. It had so many changes.
This one was better than the Miami game, but not as good as the Texas USC game. So that Texas USC game was like, I mean, you can't believe it. It just kept going back and forth, back and forth. It was like Auburn stopped playing for a minute last night and then tried to get it back going and finish them off. But there's no way you was going to finish them with that amount of time.
They showed the highlights last night of Vince Young against USA. What happened to Vince Young?
It's called money and time.
So he got paid, and then that's it? He just didn't want to play anymore?
No, the thing about it is when you go to the NFL, there's nobody regimenting your time. I mean, we're talking about Tony Romo. I mean, with his back and everything, and I love him. I'm a Cowboy fan. But you heard Jerry Jones say, I want him over here more on his off day. That happens. Guys find hobbies and, movies and different things that they want to get into because now you have money and more time. In college, you have no money, so you spend all your time over at the spot because that's the only place where food, drinks, and, good times are over at the workout spot. But when you get in the NFL, you now have money and time and a whole lot of access to things you never dreamed of.
But I'm trying to figure out, when you look at these quarterbacks, and it's so hard, it's an inexact science to figure out who's going to be good in the pros. And you bring up, money and time, just ability here. I don't know if Jameis Winston's going to be a great pro. I don't know if Johnny Manziel's going to. But, teams are trying to figure this out. As a defensive player, can you tell me if Jameis Winston's going to be a great pro?
No, I can't. I mean, could you tell me in 1978 when Warren Moon won the Rose Bowl for the Washington Huskies that he needed to go to, Canada and win 5 or 6 Grey Cups before he came to the NFL and threw for another 40,000 yards? I mean, it happens. Tell me, how do you pick a defensive lineman? Because I've seen 15 Warren Sapps in the last, 15 years. Tell me how you pick those guys. I mean, it's hard. It's not an exact science to be able to forecast anybody's hunger or desire when you tell them, I believe you're this good.
Do you think Manziel can be a star?
I don't know, because we've always said short quarterbacks have tough time finding holes to throw the ball to, and Drew Brees has proved that you can get it done. Michael Vick proved, with legs you can run and get around. I want to see it, because that's the one thing we know about the NFL. There's no code to crack. There's no blueprint to run. There's no exact science. There's no height, weight, nothing. None of that works. We've had workout warriors and Archuleta and Mike Mamula. Those don't work either. We've had the incredible Buck and Mandage. You can't have spinach, so that doesn't work. So, we're looking at Tom Brady, the 199th pick. Jesse Armstead was the 208th pick for the Giants, and he did 6 Pro Bowls. There's no exact science. Terrell Davis was, a 6th-round pick and ran for 2,000 yards. Come on. That's why we love this game.
We're talking to Warren Sapp from the NFL Network joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Let me start with the Colts and the Chiefs. What bothered you? What bothered you the most about what Kansas City did in the second half of that game?
Nothing, because they just ran out of bodies. And there's nothing you can do when you have a 53-man roster and you only get 46 guys on a Sunday afternoon. And the best player on your team gets concussed on the sixth play of the game.
But you don't blame anybody.
You can't. I mean, that's just the game that we play. You can't. Let me think. When I was looking through it, great play by Barry. The ball hits the helmet of the center. Hits the oblong ball hits the ground. Now you know you go left, right, front, backwards. It bounced right in the Luck's hand, and this monster has the presence of mind not to just get back on the ground because you don't want to turn a bad play into a disaster.
Yep.
He goes right. But the only thing I'm thinking is, where's the linebacker and the rest of the defense? That's what because I'm a defender, but. What a great play. But, I mean, he slam dunks it on him. I mean, right. You got to love it. I mean, come on,
Warren,
man.
Here's my problem. That I know that the Chiefs, they built up this big...
Okay. Let me put my analyst hat on. I was a fan just then.
Okay.
I want to blame the defensive coordinator because there's only one receiver on the Colts who could hurt you.
And
that's T.Y. Hilton.
Thank you.
So, I know Flowers is out, so that's one of your cover corners, but you got to put Smith on it. Put Smith on it. And you got to take him away and now make. Did Darius Hayward Bay play?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. I saw him on the sideline shaking T.Y. Hilton after he scored. Like, thanks for bailing me out. I'm just stressed today, but I'm not playing.
How do you not double team him though, Warren?
Thank you. Make somebody else beat you.
Yeah, that was bizarre. That was bizarre.
And definitely keep the ball in front of you. My God.
San Francisco going into Carolina.
Oh, what a game.
I mean, the Niners were favored in Green Bay. They're favored in Carolina. And, they're playing. It's one of those wild card teams that gets hot. And, these are the teams that go to the Super Bowl. A team that went there last year.
What's the status of Steve Smith?
He's going to play. He says he's going to play. I don't know to what degree, but
I know he's going to play. But what does he feel like? I mean, because Steve's one of those no nonsense guys like me. He'll let you know I'm going, but is he ready to go? Because without him ready to go, the Carolina Panthers have to play classic buck ball. And I know they beat him the first time, 10-9. But the best thing that happened for the Carolina Panthers was Eddie Lacy in that physical game that they played up there in ungodly conditions. Oh, my goodness.
What is that like, though? You played in those conditions before, didn't you?
Yeah, I played one game, like 0 the temperature with -11 wind chill. It was pretty nasty that week 17 in Green Bay. But, hey, it's Brett Favre in the majestic, Lambeau Field. You got to play. Come on, let's go. We almost won that game, too. Oh, my God. Don't make me remind me of that one. That was us doing the victory before we kicked the field goal.
Oops.
And then missed it. Oh, God. One of those 3 times in my, 12 trips to Lambeau, I had a chance to win and didn't get it done. Oh, my goodness.
How does Denver not make it to the Super Bowl?
You mean how does Peyton Manning not make it to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
The guy that has the most career playoff losses tied with Brett Favre at 11 right now, and now he's coming into a game, might be one and done again. I mean, yeah. How does Peyton Manning get there?
Do you think
he's Peyton Manning taking what the defense gives him? Because I always go back in my mind to that Super Bowl when he first got on the big stage and he was throwing the ball up the sideline versus cover 2 and got picked off twice early in that football game. And Tony had to sit him down and say, Peyton, you can't throw that up the sideline. If you don't check this ball down, we will lose this game. And then he threw 11 passes to the Texas Tycoon, and that's Dominic Rose, and Joseph Adai, and realized that I can't wield this game. As much as I fly the spaceship all by myself and nobody else knows what I'm doing, you have to take what a defense gives you. And if he doesn't do that, that's how the Denver Broncos don't get to the – that's how they're one and done.
But it sounds like you still question Peyton's greatness when it comes to a big game.
It's not questioning Peyton's greatness. It's just looking at his resume. Your past don't equal your future, but it gives me some indication what I'm going to get. And one and done has been his thing.
More likely to get to the Super Bowl, Seattle or Denver?
Oh, good one. Seattle.
Yeah.
The Saints don't have a snowball's chance. The Saints, Sean Payton watched the San Francisco 49ers come into his house for a week and watch them work going for a Super Bowl championship. He tried to implement that on his Saints to become that kind of toughness of a team. Toughness is not something you mimic. Toughness is something that you are. So we're about to see if they can wipe this 34-7 beatdown away and go back on the road into this monster of a place and go get it done. Because there's no, I mean, they're going to have to do exactly what they did in Philly. But, we was questioning Philly's defense since the first time they lined up against the Washington Redskins on Monday Night Football. Give me a break.
Do you see, there's another article about RG3 today in the Washington.
Oh, another one?
Okay. It's open season on RG3. And you know what? Whoever coaches the Redskins, I mean, that's already, it's tough enough to win in the NFL. Now you got owner, quarterback, and I mean, okay, here, I'll read you just a little bit of this here.
Please,
Washington,
give it to me. Come on with it.
All right. Previous Washington Redskins coaches only had to deal with one divisive influence at the top of the franchise. Now there are two. The next head coach will have to cope with not just owner Supremo Daniel Snyder's interference, but with the added complication of a 23-year-old boy emperor who believes he can dictate everything from the play calling to what's served at training table. You don't like eggs? Take it up with Robert Griffin III.
Wait, they don't serve the incredible edible egg at Washington Park?
If RG3 says they do, they do.
But that's something you serve every morning, the incredible edible egg. I don't give a damn what RG3 wants to eat. I'm a 300 pounds. I mean, he's 100 and what? I mean, give me a break. Are you kidding me? Stop this. But the thing that I don't like about the article, they're saying the meddling influence of the owner. Now, if this is my program, I pay the bills, I get to do whatever I want. And the one thing I know about Mr. Snyder is that he's going to give whatever coach, whatever he wants, whatever he thinks he needs to go out and win football games. I know that without a doubt, because when he let Steve Spurrier walk in and NFL players was gone by 1:30, I was dumbfounded. I had just finished my triple bologna and cheese, and I was getting the text come out, we out. I was like, wait a minute, we about to go on the field. We done. Spurrier done let us out. Are you kidding me?
Does RG3 have too much?
Mr. Snyder let that go down. RG3 just needs to realize you're just a soldier in the Army. Now, you might be a high-ranking soldier that get to, put a couple suggestions that get read because the rest of ours don't get read. I mean, they just don't. They hear us yelling and screaming, but they just don't get read. So he has to understand, listen, I got to get this locker room with me so whenever I go somewhere, it's not about me. It's about it's about the guys. Because that's what I was always, whenever I got into a discussion with Tony Dungy, Gruden, any of the management, because now you crossed over outside your pay grade. That's what I always say. Stay in your pay grade, son. Stay on the side where the boys at. When you go across that line and go across on a different pay grade, you have to be representing the whole crew. So now it ain't just you. It's $120 million whole salary that I'm representing, not just my little $4 or $5 million. I mean, that's just the way this goes. I mean, you got to represent the boys when you go in the door. It's never about me. It's about us and we. And that's the Operation Patience should have been Operation Redskins, because you're the quarterback of this franchise, son. And if you're not healthy, you can't help this franchise.
Yeah, it's deeper than that. But whoever
it's sick right now. Well, that's what we do now, Dan. We're so quick to anoint him. This kid threw the ball, led us in quarterback rating. We anointed him the next best thing since sliced bread and cotton candy. What else is he supposed to think?
Yeah, I know.
What they should have done is sat him down in the offseason and say, Operation Patience. No, son. This is Operation Washington Redskins. Welcome. It's not the name on the back of the jersey. It's the name on the front.
Good to visit with you. Have a good weekend. Always good to talk to you.
I'll see you after the divisional.
All right. Warren Sapp, NFL Network analyst.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.